Hey guys, we are going to do fall final review questions 1 through 11 today. So I'm hoping that you went ahead and attempted each of these 11 questions on your own. And today we're going to try to iron out any misconceptions, any issues you had as you worked through questions 1 through 11. Remember, if I write something, if I highlight something, I need you to also do the same on your paper. And remember, after we do these 11 problems, you're going to take pictures of these and upload them to your Blend assignment. Remember, this is not only a curve for the final, it's a test grade. So completing all 22 questions gets you a 100 on the test. Not completing it would get you whatever your grade would be. If you do 11 out of 22, you're going to get a 50 for your second test grade. And that's how I'll divide out of 22 questions. So to get started, let's go ahead and read question number 1. At a restaurant, jars of Alfredo sauce are stored in boxes in the pantry. Each box contains 12 jars of Alfredo sauce. A cook uses 5 jars from one of the boxes. Write a function. So a function just means equation. So right here, go ahead and type the word equation. And when we've been writing equations, we want them to be y equals mx plus b form. All right, so we're going to write an equation to show the relationship between y. So y represents the total number of jars of Alfredo sauce remaining in the pantry. That's my y. X is the number of boxes in the pantry. Okay. So this question is asking you to find the number in the word problem. That's the slope, which is m. What's the rate? And the b, what's the y-intercept? Okay, so remember, m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. Okay, so knowing that, let's reread it. We've got a restaurant, we've got Alfredo sauce stored in boxes, put away in the pantry. Each box. So we've got box number 1 has 12 cans. Box number 2 has 12 cans. Box number 3 has 12 cans. Each box has 12 cans. Got it? All right, and they're all in the pantry. We don't know how many boxes are in the pantry. We just know there are X boxes. X box, get it? There are X boxes of Alfredo sauce. Now, how many are in each box? Yeah, 12. Well, there's our slope because it's 12 per box. Per means multiply. So y equals 12 Alfredo jars per box. A cook uses 5 jars out of one of the boxes. So what happens when you're using 5 jars? Well, if you use 5 jars, you had to open up the pantry, take 5 jars out of the box, and go make something with it. So I had to take out 5 jars. All right, well, that's my y-intercept. I'm going to take out, which means I'm subtracting 5 jars from the pantry. And that is your function. Y equals 12 jars per box, taking away 5 jars. That right here will tell you how many is remaining in the pantry. All right. There you have it. Question number 2. A college student completed some courses worth 2 credits and some courses worth 5 credits. The student earned a total of 90 credits after completing 23 courses. How many courses worth 5 credits did the student complete? Okay, so we have a system. So the first thing I want to do is define my variables. I'm going to have some courses are worth 2 credits, BX, and some courses with 5 credits, RY. So the number of courses that are 2 credits, let's go ahead and make this font a little smaller. And then the Y is the number of courses that are 5 credits. Now we're ready to write an equation. One of them is about the courses I take, and one of them is about how much each is worth in credits. So for courses, it says a total of 23 courses. So equals 23. For credits, it's a total of 70 credits. Equals 70. How does that feel, guys? The total courses that you've taken in college is 23 different classes, so equals 23. And the total credits you've earned for those 23 classes is equal to 70 credits. So going back to equation 1, it says, what courses did you take? Well, I took some courses that were worth 2 credits. I took some courses that were worth 5 credits. Together, they're worth 23 courses. So there's your equation. Equation 2 says, you know, the classes that I took that were worth 2 credits were worth 2 credits, 2x. And you know, those classes that I took that were worth 5 credits were worth 5 credits. So 2 credits per the class plus 5 credits times the classes equals 70 total credits. All right, now we're going to go ahead and solve for y, put it in Desmos, and get our solution. So again, we're going to box our y, move our x by doing the opposite. So one equation is 23 minus x. Our second equation, we're going to box the y, move the x, and then divide, divide, divide. Divide by 5, divide by 5, divide by 5. This will give us 70 divided by 5 minus 2 divided by 5 with an x. We're going to type that into Desmos. Y equals 23 minus x. Can't see it, zoom out. Y equals 70 divided by 5 minus 2 divided by 5 with an x. Okay? How many courses did we take that were worth 5 credits? First, let's find our intersection point. The intersection is 15, 8. So we've got 15, 8. That is our solution, 15, 8. 15 is in the first spot, 8 is in the second spot. Remember, how many courses worth 5 credits? This one is the one worth 5 credits. So the final answer that you want to pick would be 8. So this is multiple choice. One of your multiple choice questions answers would be 15. The other one would be 8. And you want to make sure you pick 8. All right, let's move ahead to table number 3. Question number 3 that has 2 tables. It says the tables of ordered pairs represent some points on the graphs of lines F and line G. Write the system of equations for line F and line G. Use y1 squiggle mx1 plus b after you type in both tables into Desmos. So this is straightforward. We're going to go ahead, clear out Desmos. Again, follow along with me so you can practice the skill for the actual final. So we're going to add a table. We're going to use the numbers -8 followed by -4. We're going to use the numbers 8 and 0. We're also going to use the number 16 and 2. The next part of it said use y1. All right, here we go. Y1 squiggle mx1 plus b. We're going to record our m and our b on our paper. It says m is 0.25, b is -2. So the equation is y equals, remember 0.25 is the same as writing 1/4. So I could write 1/4 x minus 2. All right, I'm going to delete that. I'm going to go to line G. And instead of creating a whole nother table, guys, I'm just going to erase -8 and put -2. Put a 10 for the y. Put a 1 for the x. Put a -8 for the 0. Put a 5 and -32. Just do a quick double check. Do all your numbers match the numbers on the screen? Yes, they do. Now we're ready to type y1 squiggle mx1 plus b. And here we have our m and our b. Our slope is -6. Our y-intercept is -2. So the equation is y equals -6x minus 2. Again, if you didn't use Desmos, you're going to use Desmos, but remember you can see that 10 to get to -8 is minusing 18. And from -2 to get to 1 is adding 3. Remember, it's y, get over your x, and -18 divided by 3 is what number? -6. And the same thing on line F. From -4 to 0, you had to add 4. But from -8 to +8, you had to add 16. So change in y, get over your x, 4/16 reduces to 1/4. That is how we calculate the slope by using the table. All right, let's look at number 4. This is one of our multiple choice questions on this entire review. Which graph best represents the equation y minus 3 equals 4/3 x minus 6? Hint, solve for y and then match the graph. All right, we can do that. First thing I want you guys to write is your rainbows. And remind yourself that we are multiplying here. 4/3 times x is 4/3x. 4/3 times -6, type it down. 4 divided by 3 times -6 is -8. All right, we're going to box our y. We're going to add 3 to both sides. And we're going to rewrite our equation in slope-intercept form. 4/3x minus 5. Now we have to decide which graph matches this graph or this equation. First off, I know that the y-intercept is -5. So for example, A is a -5. Oops, B, not it. Ooh, this one says -3. This one says 0. So I already know the answer choice. Should be up 4 and over 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And it is. Very nice. We want to choose A. A is the line that matches this equation. This is in point slope form. Point slope form. Here is my slope. And here is the point. All right. Moving on to question 5. What is the equation in slope-intercept form of the line that passes through the points -3, -4, 7, 12? Well, step 1 is find the slope using the slope formula. Remember, the slope formula is y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Remember what we do here is we label xy, xy, 1, 1, 2, 2. Next, you're going to get your formula set up for success. You need to put the number here and minus the number there. The number here minus the number there. And 4 numbers need to go into those 4 circles. Here we go. We've got 12 minus a -4. We've got 7 minus a -3. All 4 of my numbers are in the circles. If they were negative numbers, they're in the circle. If they were positive numbers, they're in the circle. And I still have my subtraction signs. And now I just have to type all of this into Desmos. Here we go. 12 minus -4 is 16. 7 minus 3, -3, is 10. What is 16 divided by 10? 1.6 or 8.5. 8 over 5. Sorry, not 8.5, not 8.5. 8 over 5, which is 1.6. So there's my slope. 8/5 is slope. Once you have your slope, you can now find your equation. It says write the equation. You're going to write the equation. First, you need your x, your y, your m, and you're going to find b. So let me erase all this riffraff. Now you need a point. You were given 2 points. You just need to pick one of them. Most of us are going to pick the point that looks easiest. So 7, 12 feels easy because they're positive and they're numbers that I'm cool with. 7 and 12. The m is 8 over 5. Now we're going to write them in the y equals mx plus b formula. Remember, m and x are always multiplied together. And we're ready to write it down. 12 equals 8 over 5 times 7 plus b. So what is 8 over 5 times 7? Just type it in, 8 over 5 times 7. Oops, I don't like it like that. Delete, delete, arrow times 7. Much better, it's 11.2. So 12 equals 11.2 plus b. Oopsies. Okay, we need to solve for b, so you're going to minus 11.2. Well, what's 12 minus 11.2? Oh, 0.8. So 0.8 is your b. Now that you have b, you're ready to write the equation. Y equals 8 over 5x plus 0.8. And I'm going to prove it to you that is the correct answer. That is 8 over 5x plus 0.8. Okay. It does cross at 0.8. I can go and change that to a table. I need to find the point -3, -4. Check this out. It's right there. And 7, 12. OMG. So because both of these points are on this line, then we have the correct equation. All right, that's question 5. Question 6. A candle's height is decreasing at a constant rate. I would underline or highlight that. The candle is 7 inches before it is lit. So this is its original height. Yeah, before you light it, it is 7 inches when you buy it off the shelf. Its height is decreasing. What? Decreasing at an average rate. Remember, rate is another word for slope. Decreasing is another way to say negative or subtract. Write an equation. What? Write an equation? Oh, y equals mx plus b. That can be used to find the height of the candle x hours after it's lit. The height of the candle x hours after it's lit. All right, well, we know m is slope, and slope is the rate, and the rate is 0.5. So y equals 0.5x. And we need the b. The b is the y-intercept. The b is the original height. The original height is 7, so plus 7. But did I talk about that it was decreasing? No, I didn't. I need to put a negative in front of my 0.5x. So you could have wrote it that you bought your candle that was 7 inches tall, and it's being lit and melting at a rate of a negative 0.5 inches per hour. As long as your 7 is a positive number and your 0.5 is a negative number, you have the correct answer. Number 7, what is the x value for the solution to the system of equations? All right, so we need to find the solution and only pick the x value. Remember, the x value is the first number in the ordered pair. This one is ready for us to graph. Y equals 1/2 x plus 4. Let's now graph the second equation. Box the box. Oh my goodness, what's wrong with me? Box the y, move the x, divide, divide, divide. So y equals -1 minus 2x. You do not have to do divide, divide, divide because there's not a number next to y and it's positive. So y equals -1 minus 2x, cross. They intersect at the point -2, 3. -2 is the x coordinate. So our answer would be -2. Number 8, the value of y varies directly with x. If x is 5, then y is 30. What is the value of x when y equals 42? So y varies directly with x. Here we go. Y varies directly with x. So varies directly, write it as a fraction. If x equals 5, so remember x is on the bottom, y is on the top. So if x equals 5, we'll put 5 on the bottom. Then y is 30. I'll put 30 on the top. What is the value of x when y is 42? What's the value of x? I don't know. But I do know that the y is 42. So I have made a proportion. Proportion. 2 fractions equal to each other. cross multiply. Here we go. Apparently I spelled multiply wrong. Here we go. Cross multiply. 30 times x, 5 times 42 is 210. Divide by 30. What's 210 divided by 30? Is 7. X is 7. The value x is 7. Number 9. What is a solution? Again, solution means intersection point. Where does this system intersect? Sketch what the graph looks like. Hint, solve both equations for y, then graph on Desmos. You guys, you don't need a sketch if you're going to graph it on Desmos. All right, here we go. Yes, you guys guessed right. We're going to box the y. We're going to move the x by doing the opposite sign. And we're going to divide. We're dividing by the number next to y. Here we go. Y equals 64 divided by 4 plus 3 divided by 4 with an x. Now we're ready to box this side. Box this y. Move the x to the opposite. And then divide. So the 8's cross out. I'm being lazy. I don't feel like reducing. You can write this as x divided by 8 or 1/8 with an x to the side. Both of these written like this or like this are both acceptable in Desmos. So here we go. Our first equation was y equals 64 divided by 4. Notice 64 divided by 4, I could have put 16 plus 3 divided by 4 with an x on the side. Zoom out. Our second equation is y equals 68 divided by 8, which is 8.5, so it wasn't perfect, plus 1/8 with an x. Now this does intersect at a negative point. So -12, 7. Here it is, -12, 7. It's a point on a graph, so we want to write it as a point. Okay, Sarah is making a craft with 16 pieces of felt. The length of each piece of felt is either 4 or 3 inches long. And actually, this is a typo. It should be 7 inches long. Either 4 or 7 inches long. So I'm not sure why this is not 7 here. Weird. I may have uploaded the wrong, whatever, the typo version. Okay, so we've got a craft. There are pieces of felt everywhere. How many pieces? 16 pieces. Total pieces? Ooh, how many total pieces are there? There's 16 total pieces. How many total inches are there? There's 60 total inches. Write a system of equations that can be used to find the number of 4-inch pieces of felt and the number of 7-inch pieces of felt. Okay, how many pieces? First, let's define our variables. We're going to let X represent 4-inch pieces. We're going to let Y represent 7-inch pieces. I don't know how many 4-inch pieces there are. I don't know how many 7-inch pieces there are. Together, though, there's 16 pieces. So this is just X plus Y is 16, because X is 4 inches. But this is a equation about the pieces. So we don't want to put the 4 with this one because it's not specifically talking about inches. But on equation 2, it is talking about inches. So I can put the 4 next to the X because every 4-inch piece of felt is 4 inches. So if I have one felt piece, it's 4 inches times 1, there's 4 total inches. If I have 2 pieces of 4-inch felt, that's 8 total inches. All right, so then you guys know it's 7y equals 16. Again, we're gonna solve on Desmos. We're gonna box the y, we're gonna move the x. And in this problem, we don't have to divide, because it's just 16 minus x, and type that into Desmos. The second equation, box the y, move the x. We'll get 7y equals 60 minus 4x. Then we're going to divide. Now we're dividing by 7. 60 is not divisible by 7. Just leave it like that. Neither is 4, so leave it like that. That's what we're going to type in the Desmos. The order you type in the equations doesn't matter. So, dang it, give me a 60 divided by a 7. Give me a 4 divided by a 7. There is one equation. I don't see it. I got to zoom out a lot. There it is. Now do your other one. Y equals 16 minus x. There it is, 16. Where do they intersect? Ew. That's ugly. Let me see if there's a mistake. Maybe that's why there was a 3 there. So interesting. I don't know. Well, we know this is not realistic. This doesn't make sense. So I know there's a problem with this question because it doesn't make sense. You can't have a negative piece of felt. So what happens if I go ahead and maybe it is supposed to be a 3? Let's just don't stress about it. Just do something about it. And let's just divide everything by 3 and see what happens. Change the 7s to 3s. Oh, I get something. Oh, okay. So there wasn't a typo. Looks like on my paper, typo. Got it. Hopefully that doesn't flip anyone's lid. So instead of having 3 and 7-inch pieces of felt, we had 3 and 4-inch pieces of felt. Together, there's 16 pieces. We know that 12, 4 If together there's 16, yeah, then 12 plus 4 does make 16. And 4 times 12 and 3 times 4 does make 60. And we can prove that by typing it into Desmos. That equals 60. 60 total inches. So the question says, write a system. So it wants to know both the X and the Y. So the solution is 12,4. Okay, we made it to the last question, number 11. Let's blow it up. Back to big. The total distance of an electric car can travel varies directly with the time in seconds. The toy car moves a total distance of 156 centimeters in 13 seconds. What is the time in seconds the toy car moves when the total distance traveled is 276 centimeters? Okay, so we've got direct variation. We've got the total distance that an electric car can travel varies directly with time. So distance varies directly with time. What was time in? Seconds. What was distance in? Centimeters. When it's varying directly, it's a fraction. So the toy car moves a total distance of 156 centimeters in 13 seconds. So 156 would be on the top and 13 seconds would be on the bottom. What is the time in seconds? I don't know. That the toy car moves when you travel 276 centimeters. So again, we're going to cross multiply. Here we go. 156 times x is 156x. 13 times 276. 13 times 276 is 3588. 3588. I'm going to divide both sides by 156. 156 is x, and 3588 divided by 156 is 23. So, what is the time in seconds? The time is 23 seconds. Final answer. All right, guys, thanks for listening on questions 1 through 11. Your job now is to take pictures of all your work that you've provided on each question, upload that to your Blend assignment, and then get started on number 12, finish with 22, and then we'll come back to class the next time, watch that video, and submit that to Blend. Remember, both of these parts get you a test grade and the curve on your final. All right, bye y'all.